How do we see God when we're facing difficulties and troubles on this earth? Does he seem so far away, or is he the place where we go for our refuge? Good morning. This is Pastor Ernie Lewis of the Blue Point Church in Sisti, Illinois, with your thoughts for Tuesday. Sometimes we read a psalm without really knowing the context or what kind of things the psalmist was actually facing that prompted him to write these words. But Psalm 18 is different, as there's a whole introduction to the psalm letting us know what David was facing that caused him to speak these words describing God. Just before Psalm 18, it says, "A psalm of David, the servant of the Lord, who spoke to the Lord the words of this song on the day that the Lord delivered him from the hand of all his enemies and from the hand of Saul." This not only tells us what David had been facing, but it gives us an assurance that we can certainly trust in God in the types of things that we face too. Psalm 18:2 says, "The Lord is my rock and my fortress and my deliverer, my God, my strength in whom I will trust, my shield and the horn of my salvation, my stronghold." Now there are those who would describe someone else as their rock in this life. Perhaps it's a parent that's given them some direction, protected them during some storms they faced. Or maybe it's their spouse that they've been with through calm and turbulent waters. But David is quick to testify that God is his rock. When he had nowhere else to turn, for David's neighbors were all his enemies in the land. Even King Saul had turned against David, even when David had been given him the victory over Goliath back there in the field of battle against the Philistines. So David really had nowhere to turn for refuge. But David says, "That is when I learned that God is my rock and my fortress." That hiding place where he feels peace and safety despite the storms that he's been weathering. And this is not just a hiding place that maybe offers seclusion and no safety at all. He also says, God is my fortress, that strong wall or that gate that separates us from the enemy. And he says, he is my deliverer. We are not just to run to God expecting a hiding place, but he actively acts on our behalf as a deliverer from the enemy. He is my God, my strength, in whom I will place all my trust. You see, God is by very definition should show us that he is all powerful, that he is mighty. And the psalmist reminds us that this is where we should place our trust rather than in things or in other people. You know, some will say they're placing their trust in some man-made fortress. But God showed us in the city of Jericho that walls will crumble at his command. They're not to be trusted. So the psalmist said, he is my shield that I will hide behind. He is my stronghold where I will safely abide to face all that this world throws at us. And it will throw things at us. Satan will attack us. We need to recognize that God is our safe place and our stronghold where we need to place our trust.